Hi, my name is Amy Kimberlain. I'm a registered dietitian and a certified diabetes education and care specialist at Baptist Health South Florida. Baptist Health South Florida is a nonprofit healthcare organization that spans from Monroe County all the way to Palm Beach County, and we're healthcare that truly cares. So I said that I was a registered dietitian. What exactly is that? I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes, but just understand that I help people to eat healthier, and there's a couple different ways that you can do that and different paths that you can go down. So question number one, what is or was my education pathway, including my degrees and my certification? So in order to become a registered dietitian, you do need to complete a bachelor's degree, either at an accredited university or college. After completing your degree, you then apply to an internship, often called a supervised practice program. And in that program, it can run from 9 months to a year, but it totals up to be 1,200 hours. Again, where you're getting hands-on education and training in order to enter the field of dietetics. You then take a registration exam after completing your internship, and then every year after, once you've completed your exam, you are then registered nationally. But from there, every year after, you do need to complete continuing education, and it would be 75 hours over a span of 5 years. Within dietetics, as I mentioned, you can specialize. There's 3 different areas of nutrition that you can work with. It can be clinical, so in a hospital setting, food service, so in the restaurant industry, or community. There's a lot of different paths for community. I chose community nutrition. And with Baptist Health South Florida, we have a special department called Community Health, and we do exactly that, where we go out into the community and we give free presentations. We do health screenings so people can know their blood pressure and blood sugar levels. We do free exercise, and then again, a multitude of free presentations that we offer as well, in order to keep people healthy and actually prevent them from having to go to the hospital. Again, you can then even specialize a little bit more in different areas and fields, whether it would be child nutrition, maternal nutrition, or diabetes, so different specific diseases that people have. I went on to pursue a specialty in diabetes, and that's where that extra certification came in. And I have been doing that for the last 5 years, but I am able to counsel patients on how to eat with prediabetes, gestational diabetes, so pregnancy, with having issues with their blood sugar levels, people with type 1, people with type 2, so all different forms to help them to eat better, but also manage their diabetes. So I've been in the field of nutrition for over 20 years. And again, my specialties are diabetes, but also I myself am an avid runner and a yogi. So I can help people with exercise and nutrition as well, which again, might be something interesting for kids because it helps you to perform better in your sports. So nutrition is really key. And I like to start off with a definition of what nutrition is, and it'll come back up later on when we're talking, but nutrition really truly is the study of science and how it works in your body. So looking at food specifically, if I look at a carrot, carrots have vitamin A. Vitamin A helps eyesight, immunity, fighting off infections. And again, it's then in this way that it can help our body. So food really truly can be like a form of medicine, but overall keeping us healthy and also helping us to prevent different diseases. So the next question is, what is one career mistake that you've taken in your career and what was the outcome? So I don't like to think of it as a mistake, but rather something I grew from. So I would tell you that early on, if you go back to my internship, when I entered into studying and applying for the internship, I actually didn't realize after my 4-year degree, I had to go do this internship. So that was, I guess, what you would say is the mistake. I didn't look fully into what the qualifications were and requirements were to become a dietitian. Secondly, it's unpaid. So how was I going to plan for this year after just finishing college and being able to support myself? So again, I would say I just wasn't fully prepared and I should have looked closer into it. I got into the field of nutrition because of my mother, which I'll talk about in just a minute, but I knew that I needed to improve in this year after. Without getting an internship, I wasn't going to be able to pursue many different job paths unless I really did this internship. So the year after, I went out and I volunteered. I definitely got a job within the field of nutrition that I was able to do with nutrition just education. And then I even helped at the health department. Again, all different ways that I was able to improve upon my application. I reapplied, and I'm happy to say year 2, I did get in. Now, you may ask, why didn't I get in the first year? I had done 2 degrees in 4 years. I worked during college, and I even volunteered then as well. These internships were quite competitive, another thing I wasn't really sure of. So again, finding out all the information you need to know in order to be well prepared, but also I didn't let that be a barrier for me to not reapply and make sure that I was able to pursue what it was that I wanted to do as a career path. What motivates you to do what you do, and what do you enjoy most about your job? So for me, the reason I mentioned that I entered the field of nutrition was my mom. She was a home economics teacher when we were young and always kind of taught us how to eat healthy, balanced. And when you look at a plate, I just was offered everything that we were supposed to be eating. She kept us kids, so I got to eat hot dogs sometimes, right? I walked around with Kool-Aid that was made so that I could look like I was a normal child, but she wouldn't put sugar in it. So, you know, again, offering us foods that were super healthy, from the vegetables, but all the way over to the span of helping us to be kids at the end of the day as well. Real true balance when it looks at overall health and consumption of the food that we were eating. I knew when I started to look around at different friends and family members that were starting to get sick, and I would say, and we would talk about what they were eating, and sometimes it reflected that that was part of the reason, not just genetics, but also then how we ate differently from them and how possibly they were, could improve their health just by what they were eating. I knew at that moment, I started from day one eating healthy. And so I always had the path of that ability to eat healthy, and others didn't. And I knew if I could help teach them, if they made one change, they'd be able to improve their health. I wanted to be a part of that. And so, as I mentioned, nutrition being kind of the study of food and how it works in your body, there's a reason why your parents tell you to go eat your fruits and vegetables. They're good for you. And I think that a lot of people sometimes, whether it's just what you've learned growing up and you weren't offered many fruits and vegetables and it was only junk food per se that you've been offered, I think there's always the ability to change and start to improve and enhance what it is that we're eating. But I truly believe in looking at prevention. And again, as I mentioned, keeping people out of the hospital and keeping them safe and healthy. What does my typical day look like? Pretty different every day, and it varies. And I would tell you that's part of what I love the most. When you think about some of the different projects that I'm working on, that's how my day kind of starts out. So one of the projects we're working on right now is we do food videos. If you guys know the hashtag, you can search Baptist Healthy on Instagram. We create the recipe, we make the video for the recipe, and now it created into a bigger project where we're working on a cookbook that will be released. Another project that I work with is the diabetes prevention program. So I meet weekly with participants and help guide them into making healthier lifestyle choices and work on exercise, food, and stress management in order to help prevent diabetes. And another presentation we'll be working on throughout the month. So I might have to work on a PowerPoint some days. I might have to work on some research in order to put together a really well thought out program for everybody. I might have some social media requests. So I might be doing an interview for a newspaper or a TV, and then we might just have meetings. So you can see a lot of variability in what we do day to day, but I would tell you that part of that is the fun in not knowing, it's that every day is different, and we're always given different projects that I love to work on. Last but not least, how do I define success? So success for me is always going to be about making a difference in people's lives. If I know at the end of the day that my work has helped someone to improve their health, that's really truly all that I need. Dietitians aren't the highest paid healthcare workers around. It has changed over the years, and there's definitely more opportunities out there now than when I first entered the field. However, I really never entered the field for money. It was a bonus, and that's obviously something important, but I found satisfaction in helping to improve people's health simply by helping to educate them about how to eat healthier.